Hi, Doug Hastings with Lawyer to Lawyer Business Development Coaching. Welcome to our session on engaging client and contacts outreach. As you know from having done other sessions that we have, or if you're new to this, here's how these lay out. First off, you received already an outline for this session, and I think the outline was 7 pages long. So it gets you ready for and preps you for the session that we're going to have now. Then there are really integrated takeaways that are going to come afterwards that are 14 pages for this session. Between the outline, the session, the takeaways, you're going to be really have an integrated handle on how to do this better, how to take great care of your clients and your contacts, how to overcome some of the roadblocks. We're going to talk about all that stuff. So I'd like to think that this is a real masterclass for you on this subject matter, that this really moves you forward and helps elevate your game when you're dealing with clients and contacts and how to engage with them on a regular basis. I think that this is the number one module out of the core 5, Introduction to Business Development, this engaging client and contacts outreach, curating and building your referral networks, the business plan for lawyers, and then 15 minutes a week to getting it all done. This one is really key for the reasons that we're going to look about in here. This is what our agenda looks like. Building on the core 5 I just mentioned, why outreach, you can see here. Really great section, I think, from a client's perspective. We're going to hear what the market is saying to you as an attorney on here's what's important to me as a client. Here's how I want to be engaged. Here's how I want to build our relationship. So that stuff is really golden coming up here. And then we have some possible scripts. So if you're staring at a blank screen or a blank piece of paper and you're wondering, how do I do this? Let me help you with some actual ideas for how that outreach, how that letter, how that email might look. Of course, you're going to take any of these and adapt them to your situation. But I've found before, when working with attorneys, can you kind of just get me started? So that's what we're going to do here. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the takeaways, which for this session really help you walk away from it with some actions that you can do now to move up your game, as I mentioned a moment ago, in this area. So this is the third of our 5 sessions. Why is outreach so important with your clients and your contacts? Let's just put some numbers behind this, and it will really help you understand. Like 65% of new matters come from existing clients. So these are medium and larger size firms that we're reporting. 25% of their new matters come from existing referral sources. So 90% of their business, I think it was like 80 to 90% of their business, come from people and businesses they already know. 75% of new clients, so not new matters, but new clients, come through those 2 referral sources. An amazing number of new clients come through existing clients. That's why outreach is so important. 92% of the time, a referral speaks to another business person they know, or business they know, or person they know. We'll look at that. And 65% of the time, the person that is recommended in that referral request is the lawyer that they're going to hire. Amazingly powerful. We're going to break that down a little bit here. Certainly, your number one focus is being a great lawyer and having great client care and great client services. You'll see why that's so important and why you should care big time. So client care, client services, the number one thing that you can do. Being a great lawyer, obviously, the number one thing that you can do. I don't want to get too heavy here, but knowing as an attorney and working with an attorney for years, there's a lot of resistance to change. And this is like a 400-page textbook. So don't go out and buy this and read this, because we're going to just have a couple highlights from it. But when I'm asking you to do some of the things that we're doing in these coaching sessions, yes, it represents change. It represents doing something different. And for some reason, that's really difficult for attorneys. It may be, like lawyers share with me, and like I know, Our world, our work is so built on precedent. What did somebody do before? What were the results from that? Can I do that again? Did it happen before? How did it go? That's what I'm going to do, or that's what I'm going to avoid. So many times we're looking at, we don't want to try something new. This isn't the case that's going to go to the Supreme Court and we're going to build this entire new legal precedent. Rarely do attorneys get excited about that. So why is change difficult for attorneys? Here are some of the things that you'll see, right? I'm really not ready to try a new project. How much time will this take? Will I be able to capture the time that I spend? What's in it for me? I mean, that's how a lot of people approach any situation. So when lawyers are talking about change, they generally, or when anyone's talking about change, they go through these stages of the psychology of change. Do I understand what it's about? Do I like this innovation? Am I comfortable enough to make a decision? Can I implement it? And if so, what happened? And am I ready to start doing that again or expanding the level of change that I'm talking about? Again, I'm not trying to get too heavy here, but I want to address that issue that I know I see in our market. It's difficult to do new things, especially for lawyers. Again, from that book, what is the relative advantage to doing this? Is it compatible with what I currently do? How complex is it? Trialability, man, that was a key one in here. They were talking about, can I just break out a little bit of this new concept, this new idea, this new procedure, and see if it works? And if so, then I'll expand what I do with it to other areas. And can I see that it's actually making a difference? So this is 3 pages that you might pause and read over again later, or you might skip through if you review this again. But we're trying to address the difficulty of change with attorneys and how you can overcome some of that. It's a shift in perspective. And I think the fact that you're here, you're taking coaching sessions, you review the outline, maybe you've done the other 2 sessions and now you're on the 3rd one, you're going to do with the core 5. Bravo, that's awesome. You're going to increase your skill. You're going to implement some changes in how you run the business of being an attorney. So as you see there in the gray box, you have one hand in being a great lawyer, but you also have another hand in being a business person. So getting both of them engaged, whether you're solo, small, mid-sized, or you're an attorney in a large firm, knowing that both hands contribute to your success is really powerful, and great that you're here.